We can't have this conversation without looking at what happened over the weekend last week.
Yes.
And
that is in Homa Bay.
Yes, in Homa Bay.
Obviously.
Now, no matter what political side that you're on, that humanity demands that you have an iota of consideration.
Correct.
That the violence that took place, we saw a lot on TV, but what we're told a few days after was horrible in terms of what happened to human beings.
Correct.
And I'm going to say human beings. I don't care what side of the political divide anybody is on.
Correct.
This happened to human beings.
Policeman, there's a policeman who was injured.
Right.
You know.
We have people whose legs were chopped off. We had
women and children.
And I mean, it's crazy that we didn't see this, but that it said it happened.
It's very sad.
That being the case, or otherwise, that it brings about a very worrisome picture about what could happen in the future. Because if you look at what's happening history has a way of repeating itself, and the person who came up with the adage was not stupid. They knew that this will replay itself at some point, if allowed. If allowed. How can it not be the case from where you sit? And I realize that it's a subjective question, but how can it be avoided?
Now, it's very simple. We are getting into a political mood. And this political mood, it's not by our own, it's not by our own making. It's by the making of the Constitution. We know for a fact next year we are going to have elections. And Kenyans are saying that we need to change this government. So we as Linda Mwananchi, we have, coalesced around, and we are trying to speak the language that Kenyans want to hear, because Kenyans are suffering. The education system is not working. Health is not working. There is runaway corruption. So many court orders have been violated. There are so many children that were abducted, and to date, their families do not know their whereabouts. So those are the things that have informed us, and they have compelled us to come out and try to give Kenyans an alternative. And in the process of giving the alternative, the government of the day has sensed that we are speaking to the hearts of Kenyans, and Kenyans are with us. Instead of supporting our activities and protecting our activities, they are the ones who, they have information, but out of negligence, they are permitting these goons to meet violence and atrocities against us and other Kenyans. So it's very simple. The government of the day, the security operators, they need to ensure that they rise above partisan politics and do their job. Because when they do their job, these problems will not be there. Kenyans loving each other, that's a moral question. But Kenyans respecting the law, that is a legal question. You may not force Kenyans to love each other. You may not force some factions of Homa Bay or some factions of certain quarters of this country to love Linda Mwananchi and vice versa. But as a country, we must ensure that everybody complies with the law. So if everyone complies with the law, I can assure you we will not have these problems, and we will have a very smooth election period, and we will have a very smooth transition where this government will be going home and Linda Mwananchi will be forming the next.